Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. First is the approval of the agenda.
I have a question, Chairman. I sent a letter requesting that we're probably going to need more time for budget, and Shanna explained how to do that. So, just want to let you know that health insurance and budget online, or at 9:30, we may have to add more time to that after the 10:30.
Did your request come after the budget agenda was out?
We can request any time to put stuff on the agenda, yes, it did.
Okay, well, we'll see if we do need more time. Anything else?
I have a couple things I'd like to add to. One being the Stevens Bridge. If there's time, we can talk about it under road issues. But I would like Ken here for it. And I've been hearing that there is an opening in one of the departments here at the courthouse, and I would like some enlightenment on that opening.
Chairman, I guess I'm going to insist that we add budget review after our 10:30 meeting is done. We're going to approve the agenda. I want that on it. I want to know that we will get more time.
Well, my point is that we'll leave it where it's at.
Pardon?
My point is we'll leave it where it's at. That's what it's been publicized to be at 9:30.
It can be tabled to the end of the meeting if you need more time.
Yes, it can. That's what was explained to me. So just so long as I'm ensured that I get more time, if we don't have enough.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'm going to insist that that be added there. If we don't need it, we can, fine.
Anything else? Not going to have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I move that we approve the budget as amended to include Dwight's and Mark's.
The agenda.
Yeah, we'll approve the agenda, not the budget.
Agenda. Sorry, sir.
Second.
Okay. Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
Are there any more questions or discussion on the agenda? Any more questions? Oh. Mark, how do you vote?
What am I voting on now? I thought I
The
voted.
agenda. You made the motion.
Vote aye.
Okay, Dwight?
We did this already, didn't we, Dwight?
Yeah.
No, I don't know, we didn't get a roll call.
No. No, okay. She started it.
Wayne?
I'll vote aye.
Merlin?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion is carried. Next up is the approval of the minutes of the March 21st meeting and the August 27th special meeting.
Chairman, I move that we approve those individually.
Chairman, I'd like to take up an issue with the minutes from August 21st, specifically paragraph 3, relating to the addition of an entire new sentence into the August 7th minutes, and would like some clarification on that before it's approved. The sentence as it reads is misleading, first of all, but please let me finish. But I would like to question why that was even moved to be added in there.
Well, for one reason, you're not in charge of the finances of the county, and I don't know
Correct.
where you have any input on how much money we have.
You're
And
right.
the money was wrong. The amount was wrong.
Well, let's clarify that, shall we? Because when I said there's $6 million in the bank, I was taking the information that was reported in the official newspaper of the county and the information that was presented to this board by the treasurer of the county. That financial report that she presented said there was $6,005,009.60 in CDs and the bank account. That was what she presented to you. The paper then reported it
Did
And
you
so-
see the one that was brought at the last meeting when you weren't here?
In the August 21st meeting, or the August 7th meeting, excuse me, I was referring to the ledger sheets that you were presented, not at the last meeting, what the treasurer report gave to you guys at the prior meeting. And I also was going off of the article that was wrote based on that information. So this sentence that you want to add, first of all, it alludes that I said something and then turned around and said it was probably inaccurate, which is not what I said. Second of all, you're saying then that me, based on the information from the treasurer and the paper, is inaccurate. So I want to clarify that it is not probably inaccurate. And second of all, you guys are the fiscal agents of the county. You should be able to say whether it's inaccurate or accurate, not probably. That's a weak term. And so I want to clarify why that was even in there, because in that August 7th minutes, binder wasn't even referred to on the second page, and you guys decided to interject that in there. And it's not inaccurate.
Can I
Take
I-
that from,
Can I ask a question on rules of order? I need your advice too on this. Dwayne asked to approve the minutes of the 21st and 22nd, and I made a motion that we do the 21st first.
And that's what I'm referring to.
Okay, we haven't voted on whether we're going to do that or not.
No,
So if I have a motion, should we wait for a second and then the discussion?
no, there's been no second.
I know, but it
There's
wasn't.
been no motion.
I made a motion that we approve the minutes individually.
You didn't make a motion, you just said we were going to approve the minutes. I don't,
I said, Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes individually, separately.
but there was no motion to approve either one of the minutes. We're making motions that aren't making sense.
He asked to approve the minutes for 21st and 22nd. I asked that we approve minutes of August 21st and 27th separately. That is a motion. I made that motion. I did not get a second because we moved on to some other issues, so I'll restate my motion.
Well, let's take the minutes of the August 21st meeting first.
I'd like to get back to that issue at hand.
Okay?
I don't understand, first of all, why it was even included, because all that has been, the requirements of the minutes require board approval and whatnot. Shanna hadn't even listed anything that I had said, and yet you insisted and wanted to put that in there for little to no effect. I won't even get into what was stated during that meeting and the potential defamation and slander that was spoken about in here. But this is the official records, and I want to understand and make it clear, because you guys want to say that it's probably inaccurate when it is in fact not. And so you're putting the information that I have from the treasurer and the paper, and you guys are saying that's inaccurate. I think the public is entitled to know if that's the case. We've all been elected by them, and characterizing it as probably inaccurate works to undermine the paper, which is elected, the treasurer, and myself. So I think that needs to be clarified, and that statement itself, as you have in there, is misleading because I did not state that it's probably inaccurate. So at the very least, you need to reword it, but I think we need clarification on inaccurate. And Dwight, I am not the treasurer, I am not, but I think you rounded your $346,000 statement, and when I round to 6 million, and I'm within $5,000 of what the treasurer is, I don't think I'm misleading.
well, since,
How would you like that sentence to be? We'll start with that.
Well, first of all,
I can't add things to the minutes that weren't, we can't add that sentence to the minutes. A minutes are a reflection of what was done at a meeting, not what was said, and we can't go back and add to minutes your own opinion of you think that her statement was inaccurate. We can't do that.
we can add any part of the discussion that was discussed
You-
up to the motion.
You decided that her statement was inaccurate. Your
After the
opinion
fact.
cannot go in the minutes. That is not what minutes are. You cannot have your opinion in the minutes.
during that meeting, nobody said to me that they thought my statement was inaccurate. That wasn't discussed. This is an editorializing after the fact.
And we can't do that.
If there had been discussion of whether or not my statement was accurate, that would have been a discussion at the meeting. Instead, you guys went back and tried to tweak the minutes. That, the paper is to write about what happens and they can do their own articles. The minutes is supposed to be a reflection of what happens here, not any kind of editorializing.
Was this not a draft?
Yes,
Was it
and before we
approved?
approve it, that has to.
And that's
come
why
out.
I'm stepping in now before it's approved.
Are you asking that your whole statement be removed?
I'm asking, no, you know what? Because I did say that statement. If you want it in there, fine. But this second part, that is probably an inaccurate statement, that did not occur at the meeting, it's not true. But that has to be stricken as it does not reflect what happened at that meeting.
I agree with that, yes. So after the word bank, you want a period?
Sure, if you want to include that that's what I said, I have no problem with that, because that is what I said.
Okay.
It's the characterization after the fact.
And it wasn't mentioned during the meeting.
No,
That part I agree with. So, that paragraph, I'll move to approve the minutes would end after the word bank and the word period. Is that correct?
I did make that statement.
And then, so everything up from the word bank, all the way to motion carried, will be deleted, is that correct?
Well,
No,
need the
because there's
second
more
to
to
know.
it.
the vote. Well, it's gonna have to be placed in the minutes where it was actually said, you can't just pick a place in the minutes.
And that is
Place
probably
it.
an inaccurate statement to be placed prior to the motion.
Hensy made the motion to approve the minutes.
Merlin did.
Okay.
There's two different motions in
I
the
just
same
want to know
paragraph.
where, I want to know where to
No,
clean,
there's
I want to
no-
know where to clean it up, and what was actually said during the meeting. That's what we have to be, right, Jessica?
It was Dahl's motion and it referred back to Enzi's motion in the August 7th meeting.
That means-
That's why there's two in there.
It needs to, that needs to be stricken though, because I need to go back and listen to my tape to find out what part of the meeting she said that at, to put that in that place of the minutes. You can't just pick a place to put it.
Right.
Right.
So
That's what
I think
I'm
we should just stricken all of it after bank until it says NZ seconded, and then I'll go back and place in the minutes where it needs to be placed.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes after we see that draft of that meeting.
I don't redo a draft. They're corrected in the official minutes in my book, in my office.
We haven't approved them, and you're gonna change them. I want to see it before we approve the minutes.
That's exactly what it's gonna be, that's gonna be struck out.
Fine, then there won't be an issue.
Well, we gotta.
We got it?
Yep.
So can we have a motion to approve the August
That's what we
21st?
said.
Or,
Yeah.
we have a motion to approve the August 21st meeting minutes as
Corrected?
corrected.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Mara,
Aye.
Wayne? Oh, aye. Dwight?
No,
Merlin?
Aye.
And I motion is carried. Now we'll move to the August 27th special meeting.
Chairman, I'd like to discuss one line, it's about 1/3 of the way down. And the sentence starts, the board moved to cut the unemployment budget to $1,000. And that says moved, the next sentence says no motion was made.
Suggested,
So we're even to say suggested.
instead of move, the board suggested to cut the unemployment budget.
Okay,
Does that work?
that will work. starting at the point where it says the board suggested cuts be made in the following department lines, starting there, and ending up at the line that says weed control, line 116, $22,500. I would like that all struck. To me, actually, I'm embarrassed. I don't know why we would present this information to the public. Give you an example, and I'll ask Dwayne. It says line 951 was reduced to $500. What was line 951?
She reported in the minutes of what was said.
I understand that. I'm just saying that it's just, it doesn't tell anybody anything, just a whole bunch of information. And in that place, I would like to suggest that we add this comment to help us.
We can't add your editorial to the minutes, we just went over this.
Okay, because it wasn't said at the meeting, that's what
Right.
Jessica just described. Okay. I want that all struck. It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't even want to present that to the public. Line 643 to 2500, line 661 to 50. What is it? I understand what she was trying to do, but we can, all motions, seconds, and votes and roll call have to be reported. The other stuff we can choose to report, as I understand it. This is ambiguous.
I think that anybody who wanna look would just have to get the budget from her, I don't know, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, that reflects the cuts you were, the amounts, you know.
We'll get to the cuts in the amount when we do our budget
Yeah.
review today. That, to me, I wouldn't put out there. You can leave it in there, but it doesn't tell you, it's poor reporting.
Well, we're not reporting. We're recording what happens at a
Okay,
meeting.
Shannon, let me ask you, I agree. Let me ask you this, I'm not editorializing. If we summarize what we were doing,
Can't do it. I read up on this yesterday.
okay, good.
Can't do it. A meeting, the minutes should include only what was done and not what was said. It's the action. Absolutely. And all you have to, all the minutes should include is what kind of meeting, regular, special, who's having it, the date and time and place, who was present, and then just what the body of the minutes is just the motions, who made them, who seconded them, and the roll call votes.
I want that whole section cut off from the report. That's my, do I need a motion to take that out of there? Chairman, I move that from the line item of the board suggests cuts be made all the way down to weed control line 116, inclusive all of that be removed from the minutes.
Second.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Mark?
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
Wayne?
Nay.
Merlin?
Nay.
No, I vote no.
We still need a motion to approve the August 27th
Right.
as amended because you changed that word move to suggested.
Can we have a motion to approve the August 27th minutes as amended?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
Yes, down the last paragraph from the bottom, was that even before the meeting, that statement made before the meeting was adjourned?
listens to a tape recorder, tape our minutes.
Well, is that, I guess, I thought it was after the meeting was adjourned, but according to that, we made the changes to bring it up to 5.4%, the commissioners? No, we didn't. That come in on the budget sheets.
No, when I presented you my auditor recommendation, it was 0.04%, and I'd sent you the mill levy calculator along with the preliminary budget when I first mailed everything out to you.
According to the
And when you
preliminary
went through the
budget,
preliminary budget, you changed the health insurance back to Blue Cross Blue Shield and made a few other changes, and that's when it went up to 5.42%.
I don't believe that.
Well, you can believe what
I
you
want,
want.
I want proof that them 2 or 3 items brought that increase from
Do the math.
0 to 5.4.
Go through the auditor column and go through the regular column. and
We're
do the
gonna
math.
talk about that in a little while.
Absolutely, let's talk about it.
What Dwight said, I have to agree with him. This comment that was made, Dwayne made it to me. My recollection, it was done after the meeting too. Meeting's adjourned, versus Chair Matheson, we're the one that caused all this. That's how I recall it.
I wasn't here, so I can't say
I'm just
one way or
saying,
the
check your
other.
recording. If it wasn't, it was after the meeting was adjourned, needs to be struck.
As I recall, it wasn't after the meeting was adjourned.
We can check it, we have a recording.
Or, I did say that before the meeting was adjourned.
We have a,
I remember you saying that it wasn't so. Okay, we can check that.
we still have a motion and a second on the table.
Yes. Merlin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Wayne?
How about aye?
Dwight?
No,
Mark?
No.
And I vote aye. Motion is carried. Next up is the review and approve the bills.
Well, you bring me some Wednesday stuff again? You did, huh? I think I'll be all right so far. If not, wish you'd bring something for like memory.
That's last.
What's that guy do?
must be. Seemed kind of high to me that the cremation itself was $550. We kind of give him an open checkbook for that burial stuff too.
It's gonna be a while, I just started now. Does anybody want one of these health insurance worksheets?
I took a look at it, thank you.
No, we can. Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
Rich?
I can.
That's no cue. I always come to New Salem, my daughter just crushed New Salem. Because that's the really none and about it. Makes me happy with that. My last one, and I'm a empty nest next year. Hey, the screen door.
That's not always that good to be.
Yeah.
This is,
Well, I know this one, having all affected, I would see.
From what I could see, yeah, it's very good. It's safe, that's like.
but, you know, it's very.
Sure. Yeah, we stay in the fourth state region, but otherwise we gotta do some shopping.
I wouldn't know it's 1 million. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong. I'll save it for later. So we're at 5.
Yeah, not using this going.
Yeah, no, that's it. So, it's a fee.
Committee consensus.
I guess we'll do that.
Yeah.
That brings me over.
That's terrible. I didn't say that.
There's a bill here from Cooper Chevrolet on one of the